So, in what was a crazy, crazy game, the Philippines lost and won. Lost and both won. It really, doesn't necessarily matter that they lost because they won in the end, but it means now that they're facing off against Brazil. They're facing off against Brazil probably earlier than they would like to. But before we get on to things, if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. We're trying to hit 17,000 subscribers by the end of the day. We're 140 off. And for all the new subscribers that are here to listen to me talk about this Philippines basketball team, you got one more game. But unfortunately, it's looking like it's going to be against Brazil, which is going to be a really tough one. So obviously, we know a couple of days ago, or not a couple of days ago, yesterday, Latvia lost to the Philippines by 9. So the Philippines had a +9 coming into these games, with Latvia having a +28, or sorry, a +18. So no matter what happened, Georgia needed to win this game by 19 or more points to beat the Philippines and knock them out of the group. But today, the Philippines did come up a little bit short to lose by 2. Brazil beat Montenegro by 9, so Brazil do only have to win. Well, Brazil can lose by... They can lose by a little bit and still top the group, but I don't know. Again, I'm convinced if Cameroon had Embiid or Siakam, or definitely both, they would be winning this group. But this game right here, it was a crazy one. It was a crazy one because you can see here, Georgia with 28 in the first quarter. Georgia, I think they went 16-0 up or something. It was crazy. The Philippines did not start off well at all. They hit 2 threes to make it 16-6. And early on in the game, it was a bit of a struggle for Sotto. 4 points, missed a couple of easy enough shots. And the end of the first quarter, they had it back to 8, I think. I think they had it back to 8 at the end of the first quarter, and he had a shot to make it 6. Or right before the end, he had a chance to make it 6. He got fouled. They didn't call it. Then Georgia came down and hit a big 3-pointer. Second quarter was again, Philippines had brought it back and Georgia pulled away. So they were up 12 at halftime. The fact is that the score was 40-20, with Georgia only needing to win by 19. So Georgia had it. Georgia had it. And the Philippines just went, I'm not joking, down 20. The Philippines coach calls a timeout and goes, we're playing zone. I know we haven't practiced it, but we're playing zone. And then Georgia couldn't make a shot. What was happening early on in the game was Georgia went small. Georgia had Shengelia playing center. And they also had Batadze and Mamu. The two of those basically were sharing center. And yeah, so obviously when it came to that, there was going to be a mismatch. Because obviously the big for the Philippines, who was playing center, Fajardo, just wasn't able to keep up with them at all. He was not able to keep up with the wings that were playing center for them. And it was just very tough. So they went into a zone and dared Georgia to shoot. And other than Mamu Kalashvili, nobody else was scoring at all. Mamu had 26 points. Shengelia had 17. Shengelia missed a good few free throws. You can see 2 of 5 in the free throw line, which is not great. And you can see with this team, they were shooting not great, especially because they're being left wide open. But on the side of the Philippines, CJ Perez coming in, not missing a shot was huge. Sotto going down, I thought it was over. I'm not going to lie. Especially because they were having to play Aguilar at, they were having to play him at center for a lot of the game. And look, he's 37 years old. They're playing him at center. He did get a great dunk down the stretch, but I would have thought they were going to have to play a little bit of a little bit more of Sotto at center, just to keep up with the fact that they went small ball. Georgia went small ball, but Sotto got injured in a what's his name went young. What's his name? Thomason or not Tom? Yeah, Thomason. He went low. He kind of went low on Sotto, and as he kind of went down after being undercut, he got hit with a flying knee from Gogo Batadze. So he was out hurt, and he looked quite badly hurt in this game, which was a pity. He didn't even stay on to shoot the free throw after he made the shot. It was a great finish, in fairness to him. Finish with his offhand. I like Sotto as a player. I think with the new bulk he's gotten, he should be given a shot in the NBA. But this game was all about this man. In fairness, Ramos, Perez, Newsom stepped up down the stretch. But the Michael Jordan of the Philippines. It was all about this man right here. Justin Brownlee. Like, he's averaging, he had 28 points. He had 26 yesterday. He was 11 of 16 from the field. At one stage, I'm pretty sure he was like 8 of 11 with 24 points or something. It was crazy. He's also averaging 8.5 rebounds and 8.5 assists. This man is the damn Michael Jordan of the Philippines. And he's a baller. He's a baller. There's no way that he's not better than some of the players in the NBA. I'm sorry. There's absolutely no way. Like, where does he even play? He plays in Indonesia. He plays in Indonesia. There is absolutely no way that this guy who has been jumping around from what looks to be played in Saudi Arabia, Indonesia, played in France for a decade ago. And since then has been playing in the Philippines, in Saudi Arabia. What country is this? In the Philippines and Saudi Arabia, and I played in Indonesia. This man he is better than a lot of NBA players. The only problem is that, again, he is 36 years old. Like, he's not going to get a chance right now, but this is wild. Such a big naturalized player. Like, from the years past of watching Andre Blatch declare for the Philippines and pretend he was a point guard in international play, to watching this dude dominate. Like, look, Mamu Kilashvili is not a good NBA player. He's not a terrible one either. But now the Philippines are likely going to come up against Brazil. It's going to be a really tough matchup because, like, Slovenia looked like they could be doing it against New Zealand. It's back to 16. They were by 20 at one stage. Well, it's back to 13 right now, but they need to win by 30 to top the group. They could go and do it. But Justin Brownlee, it is absolutely ridiculous. The only problem is, though, is that Brazil are good. Brazil are good. Because if you look at the Brazilian roster, like, you've got Felicio, NBA level player. You've got Huertas, played in the NBA a little bit. You've got Raul Neto, again, former NBA player. You've got Caboclo, who they call him the Brazilian Kevin Durant, the next Kevin Durant in the NBA, and he never lived up to it. On the international stage, yeah, it kind of looks like the next Kevin Durant. And then you've even got Thiago Splitter as a coach. But the only thing is, though, is that they're not as good as Brazil teams in the past. There's no Leandrinho. You don't have Varejao. Obviously, you don't have Thiago Splitter. You don't have Nene. So they are pretty much not led by, but they're heavily reliant on a Bruno Caboclo. But you just never know. The only problem is that I think they caught Latvia on a bad day. We're not even caught Latvia on a bad day. I think the Philippines shot the damn lights out yesterday. But this is still going to be huge. If you guys know anything about the Philippines, there is no country in the world that is as basketball crazy as the Philippines. It's just, obviously, they don't have the talent level to compete against a lot of the best countries in the world. And it may not even be the skill level. It's the fact that, in general, people from the Philippines aren't very tall. So, an incredible game. An incredible game right there. Fought back down. They were down 20. An unbelievable comeback. It was at a stage where they were down. They were down 1. They actually ended up getting a lead at some stage. And by down 1, I meant they were down 20. Either way, a ridiculous performance from the Philippines. But if Kai Sotto's back, I'm never say never against Brazil. If Kai Sotto's not back, I think they're really going to struggle.